Hi, I'm Michael from Northerners Nook, and this is a bonus episode. So, I've taken you from the coastline into the outskirts of Lancaster. So, we're leaving the coast behind, and we're heading more inland into this rural countryside on the outskirts of the Trough of Bowland around Dolphinholme. At first glance, this looks like nothing more than peaceful woodland. But beneath the surface lies a hidden piece of World War II history concealed within the trees. And those are the remains of a military storage depot. This place is known as Wellington Woods. There are no coastal guns here, no obvious signs today that this was once part of Britain's wartime infrastructure, defended by pillboxes and alike. But what was stored here was every bit important to the war effort. This site was used for the storage of explosives and ammunition. So the buildings I'm going to show you were designed with safety in mind, with the stores separated from one another and protected by blast walls. The remains of the Nissan-style structures can still be found amongst the trees, although nature has reclaimed them and much of this site. That's what makes Wellington Woods so fascinating. Today you can walk through what looks like an ordinary piece of woodland, while underneath the vegetation are the remains of a carefully planned military installation. The site is thought to have consisted of 24 storage structures arranged along a central access road, the one that we walk along now, with 12 on either side. This arrangement was not by accident. When you're dealing with such things as explosives and whatnot, you don't want everything concentrated in one large building. The stores were separated so that if an accident occurred, the chances of one explosion setting everything off would also be reduced. So I'm going to show us around a couple of the sites. On my left is one of the buildings now. To the left down that road and around here was all barbed wired, I think as part of a safety zone. The barbed wired areas were also at the entrances. And as you go up down the road by the roundabout, there was another munitions depot that stored hand grenades and things. So I'm just going to pause and then I'll go through the wood and I'll show us some of the buildings. You can see these will have been part of the blast walls along the structure of the main Nissan styles huts. There we have the concrete. Yeah, so it was apparently, I was just speaking to someone who was very, very knowledgeable, and he said that it was mixed with concrete or something and then corrugated. The iron, I think. Alright. There we have another. Right. So, like, this was one here, and then separated, and there we have another Nissan structure, and the other. Then we'll go into that one. So basically, the woodland itself also provides concealment away from enemy eyes, such as reconnaissance planes, and secrecy was kept very high in case information would gets it into the wrong hands. Wellington Woods fits into the bigger picture though. During the war, Lancashire became an important part of the munitions industry. Factories such as ROF Chorley and other places such as Standish were producing high quantities of ammunition and other war materials. And I will just climb over all this, pause, and then I'll show us the inside of that. This is a perfect example. So you'd have the wall on the outside, and then the depot inside. You've got that reinforced concrete. What looks like. So we have corrugated iron down here. But the manufacturing of ammunition was only one part of this process, and it had to be stored. It had to be moved and kept safely until required. So places like this were part of that logistical network. They weren't on the front line, but without sites like this, the front line could not be supplied. So as we can see, there's still little clues to the people who worked within this wartime landscape. Among the materials that I found from around here are the remains of 303 ammunition and I think it was a shell fuse cap clasp. So I'm going to just pull this, get them out, and I will show you. Yeah, so they're the 303 bullets, and the specimens he found a live one as well, which is amazing. And he even showed me some of the blanks that were fired, well, used here, I think. And then so you'd have an artillery shell. The lid will go on top, and this would clasp around that on top of the shell. And the marking on it, if we can see here, is number 7, 1 ABB. So yeah, and then his had a metal wire, and you'd pull it and clasp around like that. So very amazing. There must be all sorts of goodies under this ground. Right. So even though they're only small fragments, they give you a very tangible connection to the military activity that once took place here. We can't exactly say how every object ended up here, but together they remind us that Wellington Woods wasn't an abandoned collection of just buildings. It was a working depot. People came here, ammunition was handled and transported, and the site transformed one small part of a much larger wartime supply chain. And that's just a sort of educated guess with ROF Charlie, Standish and places like that, because they were producing a lot of ammunition and everything. So if the guys up here and around needed ammunition, they would probably ship it to certain areas. Look at this. And also the location itself tells us something about how these depots operated. So hidden away in the rural countryside, the site was separated from the major population centres while still being close enough to the road network to move supplies where they were needed. So that balance between isolation and accessibility was important. And after that, as we can see, the buildings gradually fell into disrepair and eventually were demolished for safety. But the old gentleman before told me that the land was given back to someone after the war, and yeah, because they'd fallen into disrepair and kids were playing around and it was dangerous, yeah, they got rid. And yeah, they used a bit, and then after that was it. So yeah, and then it was all left for nature to reclaim. Right, let's have a look at this building. And that's it for this episode. Gentleman did say that there might have been an Italian prisoner of war camp nearby, and he said that there was some gates that were government issue stone, but others that I've asked said that they didn't really know if that was true or not. So it might be true, it might not be. We'll never know, will we? It was so long ago. And thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and until the next episode, see you later, guys. Bye.